Hi, friends. How is the audio? I'm going to ask this every time, probably. How's the audio? How's the video? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Waiting for some people to come in here. The Hyde Zoo Disney, of course, my bestest, biggest fans. Also, the IKEA table is gone, and I still am shaking this table. So if you've been in past live streams, you know that I have an IKEA table that was up here in the studio, and it was very shaky, which is probably my fault because IKEA furniture is made pretty well these days. So now I have a like a very old table that my grandfather made, and I don't know why it would be less shaky. It's probably 90 years old. No, it's probably 60 years old. But it was made from a person that held it together. It might just be, it's not, I don't think it's the table. It's what my computer's sitting on. I have like a makeshift situation. Yeah, buy IKEA table, get out. That's what I say. How was the grilled cheese? Explain that to me, Amanda. Explain the grilled cheese situation to me. Also, do you ever just like have I'm just rambling right now until some people hang out. Your glasses wearers, you ever just like notice that your glasses are so dirty for like no reason? Like you haven't gone anywhere, you haven't like touched them or anything like that. It's crazy. Grilled cheese with mac and cheese. See, I don't want bread inside of bread. So that's where I get hung up on stuff like that. Like, I just, it's bread, like perfect bread, and then it's pasta inside. I don't know if I'm down with that. Well, I'll have to try it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So tonight's agenda is kind of loose. I just wanted to hang out because I have a goal, and it's to hang out monthly on here on the live stream and on the YouTube channel. Excuse me, Amanda, please. And it's monthly to hang out with people on the channel and just have a chat with pretty much a loose topic and to kind of just get to hang out with everyone. And this is the third one, so I'm planning on keeping them up. And I just got back from Hawaii maybe about 10, 12 days ago. And so I wanted to talk about that. And hi, good. You? I want to talk about a little bit of Hawaii because I thought it was an interesting experience, let alone an amazing experience. Obviously, it's Hawaii. And I want to kind of talk about traveling, and Aulani obviously is a huge thing that was a part of our. Yes, it is. I go live every single month. I very much enjoy it. Hanging out with the peeps. And I thought Aulani was an interesting experience. I wanted to talk about that too. And I know a lot of Disney people hang out here, so I know that's on everyone's kind of radar at some point in their life to hit up Aulani or other parks or other locations that Disney has. So if you have any questions about Aulani or Hawaii specifically, let me know in the comments. I will get to them if I can. I wanted to first talk about the testing experience and the flight because I left a lot of stuff out of the vlog because Hawaii 2024. Yes. I left a lot of stuff out of the vlog because it was just a lot happening. So we got tested, and that was an easy experience. They actually, They actually took way longer than 15 minutes. It was probably about 30 to 40 minutes, which is, again, still fine, before they gave us our results, which is a piece of paper. And that piece of paper was important that we had to have all the time. We had to take it with us, which is fine, but we also had to show it sometimes at particular places, and we had to pull up the Safe Travels website, the thing that we input our results into, as well as um, just to show like our trips that we registered, that we had a health questionnaire, stuff like that. So that was pretty like regulation standard, easy. And then when we actually got to the Charlotte airport, which I've never really had an issue at our airport. It is what it is. It's a international airport, and they have a new terminal, which we've actually never flown out of because it's a Southwest terminal. It's supposed to be a Southwest terminal, and we were flying on United. So the reason we flew United was because we had credit from a trip that was canceled in 2020. And so this is a little behind the scenes, I guess. We get there, we have enough time, we check our bags, everything like that. And our boarding pass says Concourse C, which that's the United terminal. That's totally fine. So we go down there, and we're there so early that the flight before us is like not even boarding yet. So the area where you sit is full. So we walk farther down where there aren't even people. There's no flights coming in there. So it's empty. So we sit down, have mom get something to eat. And then it's like 30 minutes until we need to board. So we get up, like start leisurely walking by, and it's like there's where we're sitting, the shops, like a couple shops, and then the terminal, like the gate. So the the gate, I look up at the board, like that specific gate, and it says that it's going to Chicago, but it says that it's going to Chicago not at the time it's supposed to be going to Chicago. So I look in my app, and they changed our gate and our terminal to the A terminal, which is the new terminal, which is about a 25-minute walk. And my mom, those of you who don't know, broke her knee in September. And so she can't move very quickly. So I am running, basically. I had never run through an airport until 2 years ago in 2018 or 2019. I went to Spain. I don't remember when. I want to say 2019. 2018. I have no idea. But that I ran through the Boston airport, and I never ran through an airport in my life, which is surprising because I've been to a lot of places. And so they changed our gate and our terminal. So we like booked it. And it's a new terminal, so it's like all the way on the other side of the airport. So we are like running, and mom is running or moving as fast as she can. And they closed the doors. One person got on after we did, and they closed the door. It was nuts. Mom was out of breath. I was out of breath because it was early in the morning, out of shape, obviously, quarantine. And like, it was, I don't know why I didn't look at my phone. It was just my fault. And it was just like a weird start to the day. And then in Chicago, there are specific airlines, United and Hawaiian, and I believe Southwest, are doing pre-clearance because you have to have a negative test anyway to enter without quarantining. So you get to Chicago, and you like go through another, like at your gate, there's a desk. It's a table. And they have people there checking your paper. Like, again, you take your paper with you, not your QR code, not your like digital saying that I filled this out, this is my stuff. They want a physical paper. So if you are going, take your paper. And I It was pretty easy, and we sat there for a long time. A lot of stuff was open in the Boston airport, like food-wise, and we got, like, some snacks, and then we had snacks already packed. So, we got on the airplane, and that was fine. Slept more than I wanted to because I wanted to stay up in order to combat jet lag. So we got there. The Airbnb locked us out because the code was messed up or something. And the rental car that we got, thankfully, we paid 4 months ago. It was a Jeep, and that was an easy process. They only let one person in at a time from your party. And I actually FaceTimed Amanda while I was there to show her the Maui airport is small and it was easy to go place to place. Picked out a Jeep, loaded it up, and we left. We went to the Airbnb, and it was fine. The beds were comfortable. The air conditioning worked. The kitchen was nice. It had a washer and dryer. It was close to things. It was centrally located to like stores and stuff, but I felt like garbage. I literally didn't want to open my eyes. It was like crazy. And so I got medicine. I was resting. So like the first, like from what you like in Maui in general, I didn't feel good. I had a headache majority of the time because I do get migraines kind of frequently, actually. And I just was downing meds and staying hydrated and just trying to figure all this stuff out, which sucked because it's not fun to be sick, quote unquote, on vacation. I wasn't like sick. So, Matt, I'm getting to Aulani hopefully before you have to leave. The answer is no. Quick answer. So, Maui was whatever. And actually, for some reason, the only part of Maui that I actually enjoyed was the road to Hana and when we went snorkeling. Everything else felt like a touristy beach town to me, and it wasn't special. And that is, I am in the minority of that. It just felt off. I don't know why, it just did. And it was beautiful. It was relaxing, but it just felt not me. I like mountains. I'm not a beach person. So like this was mom's pick, which is fine because I wanted to go. And it was just not something that I like. I prefer a mountain view over a beach view. And so the snorkeling, fun fact, I threw up. I've never been seasick in my life. I didn't feel seasick. I literally grew up on boats. My male parental unit is a registered boat captain. I had a fishing license. I've driven boats. I've literally gone deep sea fishing like my entire life. And I grew up with a boat captain as a father. So it was not seasickness. I don't know what it was. I think I swallowed salt water and it like on an empty stomach. And no, Matt, no, thankfully I was back on the boat and they did have restrooms on the boat. So I did go and do that. So it kind of eventually went back in the ocean, which sorry, it is what it is. Yeah, exhaustion and I swallowed salt water at some point, like a good amount, and it was on an empty stomach, and it just was hard. Ew, Matt, no. The boat was lovely. The staff was lovely. I just drank water and sat the next stop out, which was unfortunate because it was like Turtle Town, and there was like tons of turtles out, and people were like, "It was huge!" when they got back on the boat, and I missed it, but I didn't want to throw up again because that would have been nasty and not fun. So after I did that, I kind of just took the rest of the day pretty easy, and figured it out, drank more water, kind of kept it easy. And I enjoyed the snorkeling part, and I enjoyed um, the road to Hana, but everything else I wasn't like, whoa, like this is stunning, like this is so special and nowhere else like I've seen it on in the world. I didn't feel that except on the road to Hana, and even then it was hit or miss. And I don't know why, because people were like, "I love Maui," and I'm like, "Okay." And I went with it, I guess, high expectations, and then I was like, "Oh, cool." There was really great, like, tours that we did, like, walking tours or driving tours that were, like, we got an app, and I did those, and, like, history-wise, it was very interesting, we learned a lot about Hawaiian culture and Hawaiian history and why things are this and why things are that, and, um, I enjoyed that part, the history part of it, but other than that, it felt like a beach town. Maybe I missed where people go to make it feel different other than the road to Hana, because I think that was very special. But overall, I was way more impressed with Oahu. So we got to Oahu and it was much greener, which is weird because we went to Waikiki, which I actually enjoyed. A lot of people are like, skip Waikiki, it's just tourists, like it's just Times Square in Hawaii and stuff like that. And I actually enjoy Times Square, not because of the um, like the shops or anything specific. I don't really shop, but I enjoy the like hustle and bustle and the lights and the lines of buildings. Like I really enjoy that. So a city to me is very beautiful. I like skylines and I like alleyways and how things are shaped in specific ways. So I really enjoyed Waikiki. I liked how walkable it was. The food was fantastic, and we went to specifically local spots. I made sure to do that because as well as Maui. Um, Matt, that's a story that needs to always stay in your front pocket for parties because that's fantastic. I really enjoyed. We got to Waikiki. We checked in to the Hilton Garden Inn, which I stayed a lot of Hilton properties. So we actually paid with this with points, which was great because Aulani we paid for with DVC points, which is the only, honestly, the only way we could stay at Aulani for as long as we did because it is so expensive. And I don't know why. At the same time, I do. It's very weird. But Waikiki, the hotel we had was great. It was great for walking. It was right next to the Hawaiian Village, where you walk through. It has like all the shops, and it has. We walked to everything that we did. We did a actual walking tour, which you guys will see coming up, starting next week, which I'm super excited about. Matt. So, without giving too much away about the food tour, Amanda, exactly, to be honest, but, like, I get it because it is literally beautiful, and when pictures and videos can't explain that or, like, put it into terms that would justify the price, but DVC makes it more affordable, kind of. Matt, a lot, actually. I did a ton of research before this. I watched so many YouTube videos for for almost 2 years because we had planned this trip to actually happen in October of 2020. So I had already planned all the food out, and I just kept researching since we had to cancel. I've been researching this entire time. So like one of my good friends, Ben, actually lives in Oahu. He lives in the valley in Honolulu. So but he cooks for himself, so he doesn't unfortunately know any, and he's not a foodie, so he doesn't really care. And he couldn't really tell me anywhere. Hidden Gem restaurant, independent. I mean, they were all local. I did not go to a chain. Um, man, we went to this place called Kono's in Oahu, and I think that was my favorite meal. Um, we went for breakfast on the North Shore, and they're famous for something called bombers, which are just breakfast burritos, but they have potatoes in them. And they're simple, but they have 12-hour smoked Kahlua pulled pork, and it is deliciously fantastic, and it was so good. And I was looking at their menu, and we started out that our North Shore day, which you'll see, in a week or two. And we started out there because I'd heard so much about it. Like locals are like, Kono's is it. And then I was like, oh, on our way back from, I think Kualoa, which you'll see, yeah, breakfast burritos, but they call them bombers. So they have eggs, bacon, whatever. They have a ton of stuff in them. And but they have potatoes, and they're just wrapped in a tortilla, fried up, and not fried, but like sealed, and served with hot sauce, and it's like delicious. Yeah, sold. And it's not bad price either, like honestly. But then I was like, we were driving back from Kualoa, and the place that we wanted to go was kind of out of the way, and we were really hungry. So I looked up like what was around, and at Kono's. Like Kono's is a chain in Oahu. So like they have like 4 locations with it. There's one in Waikiki, there's one in North Shore, and there's one, I think there's 2 more. And the one we went to was in Kailea, some part on the way home from Kualoa. But I got pulled pork nachos. I could eat those. That would be my last meal if I was in prison. I would say I want that exact thing because it was the best meal the whole trip, I think. Duke's we went to in Oahu, our first night in Waikiki. Duke's is named after the famous surfer Duke. Can't remember his last name. I heard it 100 times. And he's introduced surfing to basically the world. And so they have a restaurant named after him. They have a lot of stuff named after him. There's a statue of him in Waikiki Beach. And so this restaurant is very touristy. It's on the beach, on the water. Beautiful place. It's in a like strip kind of situation. And we walked to it 5 minutes. So easy to walk. The walk was actually beautiful. It's through the shopping mall, but it's open air. So there's these huge banyan trees. It was like shaded. All the stores were closed. But like it was great. And we had a reservation, and the line was so long to like do waiting because people didn't get reservations. And they have another Duke somewhere, but mom wanted to go here, and the menu was fine. We went, and the food was actually really good. Very surprisingly good. And the atmosphere was great. Our server was fantastic. So like it was a great experience. And it was touristy. It's in Waikiki. So that, but also my favorite meal in Waikiki specifically was at Marikuma Udon. I love udon so much. And tempura shrimp is some of my favorite. But it has to be the right kind of tempura shrimp. And everything about Marikuma Udon was perfect because you'll see in the vlog on Waikiki when it comes up maybe next week, I think. There's a guy in there making fresh udon noodles, and you can taste it. It is literally perfection. My mom had never had udon before, or like Asian noodles or anything like that. And she loved it. We got, they had katsu chicken. They had tempura shrimp. They had potato fritters. They had a ton of like street food, like Japanese street food. They had a ton of, obviously like, Mike would literally love it. This is one, like, if anyone ever goes to Oahu and they don't eat at this place, like they missed out because this is like so authentic, and you serve it on a tray. Like you tell them what number you want of your udon or your noodles or whatever. And there's literally a guy I see it in like I'll see it in the vlog, or you'll see it in the vlog. And he's making the udon noodles fresh. And literally did like hot, like fresh out the oven, or fresh off the steamer, boiling them and then putting them in your bowl and then moving it on the line. Like it is, and it tastes insane. Their broth is so good. Like I have to talk about this. I don't want to give too much away for the food tour, but like Marikuma Udon is probably like the second best meal I had. and it's a lot of food. And yeah, man, Marku Udon is like one of my favorite restaurants of all time now. Like, I put it on my list for sure. Aulani's food, to be honest, was fine. Like, it wasn't something to like be like, oh my gosh, have you had the blah 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 at Aulani? It wasn't special. We got reservations at so we had we had 2 days in Waikiki. And then we left on Sunday morning, drove to Ko'olina, and starting at 8 a.m., you can use Aulani's facilities. I learned this from Leg Life when they went. So we got there pretty early, and we could have used the pool all day. They give you a wristband when you are a guest. So every day you take your key card up to the pool. There are 2 locations where you get towels and your wristband for the day, and every day is a different color. So they know, like, they're looking, obviously, when you're swimming and, like, using the beach and stuff like that in the chairs. And you take your key card up, and it's only available for the people in your room. You cannot bring a guest. You cannot, like, if you snuck someone in and didn't put them on your reservation, they're not getting anything, and they're not going to be able to do anything. So we did that, and then it was a weird time. And we actually went to go get food because we were hungry, and it was a weird time before we checked in, and I was tired, and I was carrying like literally all my camera equipment on my back and my laptop. So I was like, because I don't want to give that to them to hold, because, you know, I don't want something to break and they not know that, you know, something is in there, and then they like happen to move it a certain way, and it just, like, I don't know. Not that they would do it on purpose, obviously, but like, I'm just so weird about giving people expensive things that I don't want, and I also don't want to be like, hey, there's really expensive stuff in there, don't break it. And I know that would be careful. It's Disney. So, but I had that, like, I had all this stuff, and I was like, I just want to get to the room, change my clothes, put sunscreen on. Like, I didn't have all this stuff. And we got some lunch, and it was good. It was a burger, cooked well. The fries were good. It was fine. And we ordered it at this place called Ulu Cafe, which is the quick service restaurant there. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have snacks. They have grab and go, which is fine. They also have made to order stuff like flatbreads, burgers, poke bowls. They have a lot of stuff like that. And then they have your candies. They have your like sweets, like if you want a brownie or a cookie or something like that, that's in there. And then they also have like chocolate. They have milk, and they have the Mickey bars. But this is also where you get Dole Whips, your vanilla swirls, stuff like that. Beer, wine, they serve there in a can. Water, Cokes, stuff like that. So we ordered a burger. Mom got, I think, chicken tenders or something. We could not find a place to sit down. This is on a Sunday. We could not find a table. We could not find a chair to use to sit down. It was packed. And they've taken chairs out for social distancing. So we had to literally go through the hotel and like find a corner where they could, like, I could just sit down, like not inside. So we found like this weird walkway between the rental car place that they have on site and the hotel. And it had a plug for my phone, which was nice, but like, it was so weird. Matt, yes, of course. It's Hawaii, where pineapples are. And the Dole plantation. So they have a Dole Whip. And it's, spoiler alert, not good. I like Dole Whips. This was not it. I don't know if the machine was broken or what, but it was sour. I was very upset. Aulani in general is, people, like, when you look at it, it looks huge. And the towers themselves are massive. There's hundreds of rooms. It's massive for the space that it's in, as far as the towers go. There's 16 floors on each tower and 2 towers, and there's like 4 different hallways. So there's a lot of rooms. But the lobby is very small, the check-in area is small, the pools are small, and the paths around that, even though you look at a map and it's like, "Oh man, this is like Disneyland," which that's what people say, it was not. It was like very easy to get around, and like it got really like monotonous in a way, but like at the same time you could find these different paths that led you to somewhere else, and you ended up back to where you started and you saw something new and stuff like that. So it was like so beautiful just to walk around anyway. And they have their own um like size, or like what it looks like, because it's Polynesian, what it looks like. Um it's hard because I think it's small compared to tower wise. I would say aesthetic Polynesian 100%. And probably mix in the amount of greenery that like Saratoga Springs at the tree houses have, like so many plants. It was so pretty, so many plants and flowers. So like that was crazy cool. Size, I would say height wise, the towers, Riviera, but it felt huge when you were like in the pool, like looking up at these things, and it just felt Riviera size in that way. But like grounds wise, none. It feels small to me, very easily walkable. Also, it's in a place called Ko'olina, which has 2 other resorts on it. The Four Seasons is right next door, and Marriott, Residences at Marriott, which is a timeshare situation, is in like about a 10-minute walk away in the lagoons. So they have man-made lagoons that are protected, so there's not huge waves in the lagoons, so they're swimmable all the time, basically. And also so large things can't get in, but I don't know what that means, because there was a monk seal on the beach the other day that somebody posted, like a pregnant monk seal on the Aulani beach. So I don't know what they mean by big things can't get in, because that's as big as a shark. So I'm very confused. But the pools are beautiful. They never felt crowded to me. People kind of kept spaced out. Obviously, when you're in your chairs, you're away from people. You're spread out and spaced apart. But in the elevators, it's 1 party or 4 people. We didn't use the elevators much because we were on the main floor, and there was a staircase like that led out to the actual main floor. So we didn't really have an issue there. We used it a couple times like at night when we were like tired, but other than that, it was like very easy to get around, I thought. And it was so beautiful, and like everything like had a purpose. Obviously it's Disney, but like Joe Rohde and the team that made that, with Joe Rohde growing up in Hawaii, like you could tell. There's a saying that Joe Rohde says that when you have an aerial view of Ko'olina, which is the area that these resorts are in, that you look at one from the air, and one is authentically Hawaiian, and the other is the Four Seasons. Savage. But we actually spent 2 full days at the resort. One was on accident. One was our last day, I guess. So that doesn't really count. We spent 1 full day at Aulani, which that video will go up soon too. And it was one of our last days because we canceled something because we hadn't spent so much time at the resort and we were paying for it. So we wanted to do something. So I was going to go horseback riding. We actually, on our North Shore day, the farthest we went in the North Shore, which was probably 3.5 hours if we would have driven straight there to this place past the ranch where I was going to go horseback riding. And I was just thinking, this is so far to just do something for an hour and a half and come back, because it was the only thing we were doing that day. And I didn't realize how far or how long it would take to drive that far, because it's the speed limit's small, like low, and the roads are not highways. So like it takes longer. So we canceled that, which was fine. And they moved the time on us anyway. They called and they were like, hey, we can't do this particular, which is a bummer because I really wanted to ride a horse. I miss horseback riding a lot. I am a low-key horse girl and I'm not ashamed. So come at me. Horses are beautiful. But so we spent one full day at Aulani, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, at the resort. I did a walking, I like showed everyone what, like in the vlog, I will show you what things are and where they are and what they do and all that stuff, and the food and all of that fun stuff. But the highlight of that day, I think, was spending so much time in the snorkeling area that they have, which is a man-made, it's basically a pool, a saltwater pool that they have that is filled with beautiful fish and that has real reef in it. Like, it's a legit environment for these fish to feed and live and to function. And they get fed, obviously, that's like part of it. But you can snorkel in there, you can rent a pass, and they give you snorkel gear. They give you a vest, which is unfortunate because I can swim and I can float. So I didn't really need it. And it was bright and yellow and kind of kept riding up because it's one that you put over your head, and then it has like a little strap that goes around your waist, that was kind of annoying. I didn't need that, but I had it anyway. And it was really cold for a good reason. They have to keep it that temperature, but $25 a day, $45 for the whole time that you're there. And it honestly was worth it. I would say 100%, because when I went snorkeling in Maui, obviously it's the ocean, so everything is so far away and it's so beautiful. The visibility at Molokini Crater, which is where we were, was insane, like beautiful in Maui. But then you come to this, which is obviously a controlled environment with the same exact fish. I mean, if you're only at Aulani and then you want to go snorkeling, you can go snorkeling for free in Hawaii, literally anywhere, if you have snorkel gear, as long as it's safe and with like someone knows where you are, because that's dangerous. People can die snorkeling. But this was so worth the money because I ended up being the only person in there because it was so cold. I didn't really care. That doesn't bother me. But I ended up being the only person in there for like 20 minutes. And I spent a good amount of time just like floating on the top, staring at all these beautiful fish. There's hundreds in there, if not thousands. And there's beautiful reefs. They have like all these hidden all these hidden sculptures in there, all these hidden like art, like rock formations. And then they have obviously the living reef, which is beautiful. And that was a great investment. I wish I would have had more time at the resort because I would have spent a lot of time in there. Because I went twice that day because you pay for the day and you just turn in your stuff when you're done, and you go up to the little counter that they have specifically for that. And they punch a hole in your wristband for your pool that day. And then they just give you new snorkel equipment every time. So you don't have to keep up with it. That's actually really nice. They'll give you towels if you want it. And everything like that. And they have cubbies as well. So if you do want your towel immediately, or you have your phone or your room key, or like if you have glasses and you want to take them off when you put your actual goggles on or whatever, like they have little cubbies, and it's a fenced area. So it's not like your stuff's just out in the open in a way. Like all the stuff that, like the people that are in the pool have their stuff in that cubby. It's not for anybody else. So like that was really nice. It was a really cool experience, and the fish are very in your face. Good night, JP. My guy. My friend, JP. And like it's great for kids, especially like if you want to introduce your child to snorkeling, like if you want to go snorkeling out in the actual ocean. Like if you are planning on coming to Hawaii very frequently, and you or anywhere like the Caribbean or whatever, and you're afraid to like literally put your child into an environment that isn't controlled, other than a pool, like an actual chlorine pool to practice like breathing and stuff like that, and just floating, this is a great thing to do that with, giving your child an experience that they would also have in the ocean in a way. So the engineering of this space, I think that was my highlight. Like there's nowhere else that I can think of that has something like that other than the actual ocean, which the visibility is up in the air depending on the day, depending on the weather, depending on the season and all that stuff. So like this is guaranteed sightings with it still being in an environment that is healthy for the fish and that is like really a great time. And they also limit how many people come in because not only COVID, but also you don't want to like, if you're floating around like snorkeling, people don't understand that you have to look before you turn. Like I know you're literally floating like this, right? And people just like keep going and then they start turning like their whole bodies and they don't look to see if there's somebody over next to them. So they like hit the next person and like just turn your head to see if there's a person over there before you do that. But that was a really good time. The food was whatever. There's makahiki we had a reservation for dinner, which is right now a 3-course prefix menu. They have an appetizer, they have an entree, and they have a dessert. The entree was fine. I had chicken because they didn't have like a fillet. They had prime rib, which I don't like prime rib. It's too fatty. I'm not a big person. I'm not a big fan of like fatty cuts of meat. I like fillets with the marbling and all that stuff. So I just don't like the texture. I understand that fat is flavor, but like I don't like the texture of fat. And so they only had prime rib and then they had fish, and I don't eat fish. And mom got a shrimp fettuccine with like a lemon sauce instead of a fettuccine. It was just fettuccine noodles. It wasn't Alfredo fettuccine or fettuccine Alfredo. It was like a fettuccine with like a lemon situation with shrimp and like asparagus. You'll see this in the vlog, but it was $49, $59, and I would say you can skip that. The food was fine. The service was great. Our server was fantastic, obviously, and super nice, and the food was fine. But I would say if you're going to spend a big, like money-wise, that's not it. There's a place across the street called Monkey Pod, which actually a ton of people told me to go to, and I was like, it's a chain. But then I looked it up further, and it's just a chain in Hawaii, owned by a local family that lives there. So I had to go. I actually only went there in Maui, but they have one across the street from Aulani, and it is fantastic. And that's where you should spend your money, even though it's not like fancy sit down like you would like consider makahiki. It is expensive. But they have great fresh farm to table food at Monkey Pod, which I would say go there instead. Also, for quick service and stuff like that, there's an ABC store across the street from Aulani, which is in walking distance. You can just walk. It's literally across the street, and which is called the Island Market, but it's an ABC store, which ABC stores in Hawaii are not liquor stores. They are convenience stores with like they're not gas stations. They're convenience stores. They have souvenirs. They have grab and go food. They have fresh fruit. They have water. They have T-shirts, like blow up pool toys. They have all this stuff. They also have a fresh made to go or made to order counter. So I actually ate a lot of ABC store food throughout the trip, and it was fantastic. That's actually where we got musubi. And musubi is a fantastic little snack that Hawaiians have, which is sushi rice, marinated and seared spam, and some herbs, and wrapped in a seaweed wrap. I took the seaweed off because I don't like seaweed. The texture, because it doesn't really taste. I mean, it tastes like a little bit of something, but that's not a big deal. This texture is what gets me, and it stays together because it's sushi rice, sticky. So good, delicious. $3 and it fills you up. It's a great snack. Cheap is for me as well. So you could either spend your money on a $15 flatbread at Aulani, which actually I think that was the best thing that I had. They had a Kahlua pork flatbread, which had pineapple, barbecue sauce, like a mango barbecue sauce, and pulled pork on it. And it was like a really easily shareable flatbread. And I think that was good, but it was like, I think like $24. It was crazy. But I think that was the best thing I had. They also had really good burgers poolside, which is also the Alelo room, which is or the pool thing, the other one that I didn't go to. And I think that it was poolside was not worth it. It was just paying for convenience, to be honest. Our servers were always great. There's waiters that walk around at the pool and they like, you want a drink? You want a food? You're like, oh, I am hungry or I am thirsty. So they'll like literally be like, oh, well, here's the QR code, scan this. What do you want? And they'll take your order, go put it in, and they'll bring it to you at your chair. I need that. So I ordered 2 of the non-alcoholic drinks because I'm not a drinker. And I ordered like the fruit, like non-alcoholic cocktail type things. Both fantastic, but the one I enjoyed the most was just pineapple juice, ginger ale, and ginger. And it was delicious, super refreshing. And was it worth $9? No. Would I get it again? 100%. But the Dole Whip situation was very disappointing. And I was upset. I think it was the machine. I hope it was the machine. I'm just praying it was. Or maybe my taste buds have changed, because your taste buds do change every 7 years. Maybe it's me. I don't know. That Dole Whip was garbage, and I am not sorry about it. I like Dole Whips a lot. I get one when I go to Walt Disney World. I like them. Do I love them? No, I love pineapple. I just want to eat pineapple. I'd rather just eat fresh pineapple. But I do love a Dole Whip. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get a Dole Whip. And I should have gotten a Dole Whip at the Dole Plantation, but we ran out of time because we went there literally just to get gifts for someone and walk around for a second. But we went at closing, and there was a long line. I don't want to be that person that was like, I'm going to get in line before closing and, all this stuff, because they were literally kind of rudely pushing people out. And yeah, I should have gotten it there because I think it would have been better, and I regret it, which means I just have to go back and try it again. Oahu was impressive and special to me. So I said before that Maui wasn't special. And then again, I am other than the Road to Hana, I am sure that I missed what makes Maui special. Was it beautiful? Absolutely. I just didn't feel like it was any different than going to like another beach town. Like it felt, when I was on the beach where I went, it felt beautiful and relaxing and lovely, but it's me. I'm the problem. I really enjoyed when I was listening to the culture, like the guide and stuff like that, because I was learning so much about the native Hawaiians and things like that. Mary, I know. And I was like, I don't like, I am missing something and I don't know what it is. So it was beautiful. There's no doubt about that. I really enjoyed learning about Maui and the cultural aspects and the native like Hawaiians and how they developed all this stuff and why this is here and why this is named this. Like I really did enjoy that and the history part of it. I listened to that guide basically the entire time we were there. I enjoyed the road to Hana a lot. That was the highlight of the Maui time for me. Snorkeling was obviously beautiful. But that, like, I don't know if it's just like I did also stay in Kihei, which I think was a problem. If I think I would have stayed in Wailea or, I don't know. I think if I stayed in Wailea, it would have been different because we went into Wailea like, for the day, like part of driving, and we like parked, and that's where some shops and some food that we ate at, and it was beautiful. And I think that if we went back to Maui, we would stay in Wailea. It was lovely. But Kihei was whatever. Like I think that where we stayed made a huge impact on. Not that it was bad. It was a beautiful, like, and clean and comfortable Airbnb, but the area that it was in, I think it was not ideal for a first time. Yeah, I think if we would have stayed elsewhere, it would have been way different. But when we got to Oahu, especially when we went to Kualoa Ranch, which I'm so excited to show you that vlog. It was so much fun. Those mountain views are literally like Alaska is my favorite place on the planet. And I've been to a lot of places, but looking at Alaska or like even being in the Tongass National Forest, like standing in the Tongass National Forest with like 4 other people in the silence and just listening to the Tongass is an experience I will never forget. And it is something that is imprinted on my life forever. And I will never, like, the smell, I'll never forget what it was like and how it was. And I think that that's what heaven there's a part of heaven that looks like that, right? And when I was on Kualoa Ranch, the mountains there and the views and the vastness of the actual nature, I'm like, okay, this is also what heaven looks like. Mary, I'm bummed too. I still had a great time. It was beautiful, and I mean, this sounds bad. I did enjoy it. It was beautiful. The places we went were beautiful. I think honestly, the area that we stayed was the factor that made it a little bit of a difference in my brain, maybe. I really enjoyed the road to Hana. I thought that was stunningly beautiful, unlike any place I've ever been in my life. Obviously, the food was great. And the just all of that was just so interesting. And again, the history part of all of it was just so beautiful, and I loved that. Yeah, but I don't know. I think that, yeah. Also, like, Kihei was like it felt like every other, like a Florida town. Minus obviously the ocean was very different. Not dirty. It was clear most of the time. There was a lot of surfers, bodyboarders, all that stuff. Hi Kimmy. Yeah, Mary, I think if we would have had time to go into what you and I talked about, I think if we would have had time to do that, if I didn't feel that bad, it would have changed everything, I think. And felt more, it didn't feel Hawaiian until we were on the road to Hana and doing stuff like that. And I also think it was because I didn't feel good. So, but again, it's me. It's not Maui. It's me. And I would like to give it another shot. So, but Aulani, I don't know how to put this, but Aulani's super expensive. Is it worth it? If you can get a good price, yes. I would never pay full price for Aulani, not only because I don't have that kind of money, but also because there's other ways to go there cheaper and get the same experience, and sometimes even a better room. So you can look on Lonnie's website and you can like book, and it's like 500 if you get a good deal, for 400 to, depending on the room, 800, over $1,000 a night, depending on the room, which I think that's insane for any hotel. But you can rent or buy someone's DVC points. Or if you're a DVC member, you obviously know this. DVC members can rent out or sell their unused points at a rate that is good for them. So that's what we did. And I think it was like a little over $200 a night, which is still crazy expensive for us because we're just two adults paying for this. And, we have normal jobs, entry-level jobs, and we don't, it is what it is. But I think that renting DVC points is literally the only way that we could have gone, because I couldn't pay full price. Good for those people who can, that's totally fine. But there are places to stay for, you can stay at the same place for cheaper and even get a better room, because DVC rooms have microwaves. Kimmy, yeah. They're doing deals now too for locals. They're doing deals for annual pass holders of Walt Disney World, which we are not annual pass holders anymore. So we couldn't take advantage of that. They're doing for Disney Visa card members. They have some stuff. You obviously, and also speaking of that, you do get a 10% discount in the shops if you are a Visa card member. But even though it's linked, you can use your key card like you can at Walt Disney World Magic Bands, like put your PIN number in. Even if your Disney card is linked as that card that you're using, like to charge to your room, they have to see the actual card in order to get your 10% discount, and you have to use it. So 10% is what you get off. Annual pass holders don't get anything off for Disneyland, obviously, because that doesn't exist anymore. And annual pass holders at Walt Disney World don't get anything off. They can get room deals sometimes. Amanda, they can get room deals sometimes. I think there's one right now. But you have to go during a specific time, which is normally a slow time for them. And then they're trying to book the rooms out, which is what all hotels do. But again, the team that Joe Rohde had to build this place, I don't understand. Like, that's why Animal Kingdom is aesthetically one of my favorite places on Walt Disney World property, because of the plant life, the attention to detail. I actually before I got up here to do this, to hang out, I watched All Ears, like allears.net on YouTube. I like Molly. And yes, Kimmy, I did. It was lovely. It was small, but it was lovely and relaxing. Thankfully, we didn't have any kids playing tag in it. I hate when that happens. Lazy river means lazy river, and it should be for adults only, or children that are just going to sit in their tubes. That's my lazy river rant for the day. I watched Molly's video that she just did about Molly. I'm sure is really nice. I've never met her. But her videos are great and very informative, and I think very accurate. She does a great job because she was a cast member. And she did a video about Animal Kingdom and why everyone doesn't like it. It's a half-day park. People dismiss it. And JP can do anything because he's the best. And but Molly, pointed out so many things that people just walk right by. Everyone walks right by literally everything in Disney that people put so much attention to. The windows on Main Street, everything has a meaning at Disney. If it's written out, it means something. Numbers, names, stuff like that. Locations of plants, locations of specific rocks, colors of certain things. All of it makes, that's what it is. So Joe Rohde is my favorite Imagineer ever. And then Bob Gurr second. I love Bob Gurr. But Joe Rohde's team that made this place focused on so many things that you just walk right by. So the lanterns around the resort, if you guys saw my Instagram, I posted about them because my mom loves them. And we were like, why are they shaped this way? It's so weird. And then we didn't ask the cast member because we were like, oh, well, we should have. But when we were at Waimea Falls, we actually overheard or saw the manoa tree, the kukui nut. That's what the oil, it's a very oily nut. So they put them as their candles and they burn. So they just use them in that way. Even though that's not actually what that is, it's obviously like stone and made from concrete. So they turn it on and it moves. Like it's a fire lantern, gas powered, I'm sure, or oil powered, whatever. But like that attention to detail that people don't pay attention to, like, is crazy. Like you could have just put a lantern out, like a tiki kind of situation, but that's not authentically Hawaiian. The plants that are around here are plants that I saw all over the island, everywhere. Good to know, Kimmy. That is very interesting. I did not put two and two together. So one thing that I'm gonna end on before you see more vlogs coming up, which I'm so excited for you to show you guys those. When we got into our room, we looked out our view and we got an island garden view, I think is what it said. So we opened the curtains and we looked out and we were on the third floor, like the main floor, with the lobby, everything like that. And we looked out and it was the lawn and the stage that the luau that is there on. And we had the luau booked. We had VIP, and because I wanted to film it and hopefully I would get front row and all this stuff. But I was like, we could just watch it for free right here. It was a little obstructed from like a tree and like lighting tower, but like it was very much, I could see most of it. So I called and I canceled our luau. And then we watched the luau from our balcony. And I regret that so much because it was so beautifully well done that I wish I would have been front row center for that. And people say the food wasn't great. And again, I don't know because I didn't eat that. But I think you're paying for the entertainment. You're paying for this spectacular storytelling time. But like the way that they did it was so beautiful. And I was like so upset after we watched it. And I was like, man, next time we are going, because that is something that I'm upset that we did. I don't know why we did that because it's not the same. And people are like, yeah, you can just watch it from your balcony. You can watch it, you can experience it. I did almost cry a couple times because it was so beautiful and I wasn't even down there. But also that is the stage that some of the characters do meet and greets on, the Haleva lawn. And so I literally, when we got there, you'll see this in the vlog, Moana was standing out there and she was like, no one was there. Like she was just standing on the stage with the cast members, like waiting to take people's pictures. And I yelled, hi, Moana. She like literally could see me and like waved back at me. They have meet and greets there that are like Mickey and Minnie, obviously in their aloha attire. And they, interesting. Yeah, I would have gotten the no seafood option too. I'm not like, if the food's fine at a place like that, I know I'm paying, like I know what I'm paying for. So I'm not like, I need a 5-star meal. Like I get it. I probably would have gone with the no seafood too. Not because I'm allergic. I just don't eat fish. Yeah, the only reason we paid for VIP was so I could hopefully get front row and film for the vlogs, but, um, yeah, I think since everything's so spread out, I think everyone gets a really good view, and since they're putting things down the center, that, it would, be a good view for most things. Um, yeah, they're serving their food in a bento box instead of having the actual buffet, which fine. They're doing what they're doing to have it, and I know what I'm paying for. It looked really nice, yeah. We did save money. It was $200 to, be VIP for that, so I get it. Um I didn't request a room. I just had that view, like, that was the option that we got for DVC that was the cheapest, so we took it, and, yeah, it was, good to see, and it was quiet because nothing's over there. So, I think I would've liked to actually see if Shelly Mae and Duffy were meeting, but I was never in our room, so there was no way I could just, like, watch and see if they were there. But there's a number you can call to see if, they like, what character's meeting at what time. You can also ask the cast members that are out at the lawn taking pictures who's coming up and what stuff like that. Um, we saw Goofy at the stage, from our room and stuff like that. I'm not a big character person. I think it's an anxiety thing that I just don't know what to say, especially like face characters. Like like yelling to Moana was fine, but like especially if it's a face character, I don't know what to say. I feel awkward. I think I've gotten better at it now, but I would like to not do it in an environment where there isn't a lot of people. Oh, Kimmy, I did not know that. Good to know. The screen in the lobby has when the characters are. Yeah, Chip and Dale are like one of my favorites, so I would have loved to meet them in their little aloha shirts. Yeah, but overall, fantastic trip. Next time I go back to Hawaii, I would like to go to the Big Island. And I would like to go back to Oahu because I think Oahu has a lot to offer that you can't see in 5 days or 6 days or whatever. Amanda, yes, thank you. I Kimmy, next time. But I mean, I met characters when I was 5, and that was the last time I did it. I sat with like I didn't do Santa growing up as a kid. I think my mom took me maybe one time, and I just hated it. So like I never did anything like that. We met characters when I was 5, and you can look at the pictures, and I'm very awkward in them. Because I'm like, "Hi," like, I'm shy. And, it was just a time. But does anyone have any final questions? Hi, Justine. You're coming in late. I know you had to put the kids to bed, I'm sure. Does anyone have any final questions or thoughts? Or Justine, do you have any questions or thoughts coming in now, about Aulani or Hawaii in general, or traveling right now during this weird time that we're in, that everything gets announced randomly, and it's gonna be an interesting time starting now. I just, literally bath and bedtime, that's right, baby. Those kids. Gotta be the super mom you are. Oh, yeah, Kimmy, where are you? At the coast. That's right, I forgot you guys live here. North Carolina, actually, coast-wise, isn't on my list at the moment. I've already done it. I have a lot planned, actually. What's next? Hold on. Was Aulani still magical for you? 100%. It's ultimately Hawaiian with Disney magic. It's not a Disney resort with Hawaiian stuff. It's very much the opposite, which I found refreshing because when we stayed at, Kimmy, where? I know all the towns. I grew up literally in Wilmington. Not like I didn't live there, but I spent all my summers there because my dad lived there. That's where I went fishing and deep sea fishing. And my aunt has a house in Myrtle Beach. So I know all the cities between. Charlotte, what's up? I know exactly where that is. So when you fly, question, this is so random. Where do you fly out of? Do you come to Charlotte or do you fly out of Wilmington Airport? Yeah, Justine, the kids would love it. I think when they're like a little bit older and like you want to introduce them to like snorkeling or like things like that. I talked about you if you want to rewatch the first part of this when I talk about Aulani, skip through to it. It's about halfway through. Okay, you should fly to Wilmington. Do you stop in Charlotte most of the time? Or Atlanta probably. They have the snorkeling thing there, and I literally love it so much. It's not the ocean, but it was such a great experience. Kimmy got it. That makes sense. It was such a great experience, and I think it would be great introduction for kids if you wanted to like in the future go snorkeling with them and didn't want to like here swim in the ocean where there's a current and like all this stuff to like also here's a face mask and you have to breathe through this tube. Like the thing that they have there is like really easy and like great for kids. I enjoyed it as an adult. Spent a lot of time in there. And I don't know why I'm blanking on what it's called because I literally talk about it in the vlog so much. And I took the GoPro in there, obviously, so you guys are going to see all that stuff. Rainbow Reef. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you. I was the only one in there for a solid 20 minutes. And that was lovely because people kept running into me because they don't know how to function. What did I say earlier before Kimmy showed up? I said I was the only one in there because it was cold and people can't hang. Thanks, Justine. I really appreciate it. I love your Disneyland vlogs. I haven't watched the one from last night because it's been crazy. It is downloaded and in my queue to watch. I'll probably do it before I go to bed. I'm also like wanting to go to Disneyland so bad, but I can't. I think that Justine, side note, or for everyone, side note, Hawaii is halfway done. So Maui is basically done. The next vlog will go out on Tuesday. Obviously, I post on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it will be will it be traveling to Waikiki? Let me look at the calendar, guys. And let's see. This is why you have stuff like this. This is the wrong calendar. I don't know. Something's coming out Tuesday. It may be Tuesday. Not sure. But Waikiki is coming up. We go to Waikiki for 2 days and actually really, really enjoyed it. So those are some of my favorite vlogs I think that are coming out. I'm going to have to do a lot of voiceover for them. A Maui food tour is coming out Tuesday, guys. I'm so sorry. I just now remembered that. A full breakdown of everything that I ate in Maui is coming out on Tuesday. So excited for that, actually, because food. Justine, that's where I would be too. Yes. So, and then Waikiki will start on Thursday. So yes. I know Mike is so helpful in, my thumbnail choices. So that's coming up. And then Waikiki, after those 2 videos of Waikiki, then Aulani will start, which has also everything that we did on those days other than Aulani, obviously, because we went to a lot of different things. We explored the North Shore, went to Kualoa Ranch. It was just, we went to the swap meet. We did a lot of stuff that was so great. And Justine, that's my goal. And we were talking about food earlier too, and you missed it, my foodie friend. Man, I wish Justine. Tell the kids to bathe themselves next time. You know what I mean? They're old enough. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we were talking about food earlier, and I'm so excited to talk about that. And then the Waikiki food tour will also come out, and then I'll do an Aulani food tour separately because I think it's very different and worth talking about. But um, yeah, Amanda asked, "What's next?" Good luck, kids. You're on your own. Bathe yourself. Figure it out. Cook your own dinner. I had something to do. I'm busy. Um, the Amanda asked, "What's next?" Fun fact: Hawaii will last for the next couple weeks, and obviously, I'm not in Hawaii anymore, but that's the schedule. I am going to Florida. I'm doing a lot of North Carolina day trips. I'm doing a lot of things. And Florida is not Disney, by the way. I am not going to Disney until December, if I even go then, which I hope I am. That's the plan, but things change last minute sometimes. But I have a lot of fun travel stuff coming up, guys. Super excited because it's solo travel. I'm going by myself. Justine, DM me. I don't want to spoil it for people. Amanda, 99.9% sure. There's a 0.1% chance that will not happen. But again, that's an option. Yeah, I am so used to traveling by myself because I did weddings for 6 years. And I traveled a lot of places, and I filmed weddings alone, so I did a lot of out of town weddings actually. And I am alone. You're not coming back to the hotel with me, Amanda. You have a home. Kimmy, yeah, let me know if anyone in here wants to know about solo female travel, because I think that it is interesting to talk about. And we could do a live stream about it. I could do a separate video on it. I do have one planned actually of why I travel solo, and I've done it for years. So I think that I went to Spain by myself in a way. Justine, yeah, and Auburn and I actually have some similar opinions, and some not, which is fine. People do things differently. I actually prefer to travel by myself, to be honest. That means I can go on my own schedule, and I can do whatever I want, eat wherever I want. I don't have to worry about whatever, and I can go at my own pace. I would actually prefer that because I have a control issue, which is a me problem again. Yeah. See, I mean, you guys are so in sync with each other, obviously because you're twins, but also like you're so used to traveling together. Like my mom and I travel together all the time, but like we don't do this. Like when I was gonna go horseback riding, she wasn't gonna go. She's not into that. So like I would have been by myself. He wasn't solo, he just drove there solo. He was with Kenny. Justine, yes. Technically I did fly to Spain by myself, and I spent a lot of time alone. I think going to Disney alone is something very interesting and different. And I have done it. I feel like I've done it. I think it was Epcot. I was meeting up, like I had to wait for someone, and I met. That's right. He did do Future World by good for him. Justine, yes, I filmed a wedding in Spain a couple years ago, and my friends were already in Europe. So there was the photographer, so I was filming it for the video part, and they were already in Europe. So they actually had to meet me in Spain, flying from elsewhere in Europe. So I went from here to Spain, and then I also spent time in the airport by myself and slept actually in the airport, like random seats after you like leave, which is open basically to the public. There was a lot of homeless people in there. And yeah, I just waited for them and to go to our Airbnb together because I couldn't check in anyway. But I do taxis by myself. I do Ubers by myself. I just have a different outlook on how to handle that because I have been doing it for a long time with very expensive equipment, not only. Also, another like, I mean, I can do a different video on this or live stream on it or whatever, but if I don't solo travel and I wait for someone else, whether that's my mom or a partner down the road or a friend, I have to go on what works for both of our schedules. And then I would also lose time, and lose time on places that I could go at the time. It's a weird way to think about it, but like if I don't do it by myself, I'm not going to do it. Because other things will take priority. So like my mom and I go on very large trips together where it's like we're planning on going to Ireland or like Mexico or stuff like that. Like mom would like to go on stuff like that. She would enjoy that. Are we going to go and do everything together? Like excursion wise? No, but like around the US, and like even Canada, I feel comfortable going to a few countries alone. It's a pretty decent list for countries that I feel safe in as a solo female person, which again, I can talk about at a later date because it's getting late. But let me know if you guys want that kind of video of solo female travel. I have it on the schedule, but it's not till late. Later in the year, maybe in like September, I feel like is when it is. September, October, maybe even August, in that area, the fall. Yeah, Disney's different when you're by yourself, but also like I think it's freeing because you can go at your own pace. Oh, Justine, sweet boy. Grant forced him to go. That's funny. Yeah, we can like I can have a live stream about that, but let me know if you guys want that. DM me any questions about solo female travel if you guys have that, or even Kimmy and Kari, when you guys travel together as ladies, like let me know. I also have plans to up my security of myself when I start doing that more often, especially when I go overseas. So that's going to be something different, something interesting I think will happen. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I so appreciate it. I really enjoy doing this. I love talking about this. Again, I do want to reiterate that Maui was beautiful and worth going to, and it is stunning. I think I was just sick and like I didn't see what I needed to see to make it feel different. And then when I got to Oahu, I was obviously not feeling bad anymore. So I think also but I'm a mountain person. I love mountain views. I think that mountains are so unique and so special. So I think Oahu drew me in on that aspect, and it was more accessible, which I can also talk about if you have questions worth accessibility of things. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. I'm so glad you guys were here and you had things to talk about, because if it was just me talking and not having things to talk about, it would be rather boring. So I'm doing a live stream every single month. I have it on the calendar for the rest of the year already on particular dates. Those dates may move, probably not. But I also go live once a month over on Amanda's channel, The Highs Do Disney, which that's not going to be the name starting next week. But if you subscribe to her channel, which if you aren't already, subscribe to me, subscribe to Amanda, because they are fantastic people. Also, Silva family, all these people in here have channels. Hang out with everyone, like their content, check it out. Amanda and Mike are fantastic human beings. Their son is beautiful. Kimmy and Kari are twins. They hang out and do fun things. And then Justine, fantastic human being. She forces her husband to go to Disneyland, and she has beautiful children. And they have just great time. All these people are fantastic. So you guys should go check them out, follow them, and all that fun stuff. So like this video if you haven't. Give it a thumbs up. That helps me. And then the live streams are once a month, every month. And hopefully that will stay that way, because I really do enjoy this. And hopefully more people will start hanging out with us later down the road. And yeah, thank you guys so much. I am going to go to bed. I'm actually starting to sweat because it was really cold today, and now it's not in our house anymore. The heat is on or something, and I'm wearing 2 shirts and a hoodie. So I'm going to go to bed. Work is tomorrow. Again, you guys are fantastic. All beautiful humans, all fantastic. Love you so much. I said fantastic too many times for comfort because I don't like that. Sorry. Woo. It's time for bed, y'all. I will see you next time. Make sure you subscribe with the bell on because Tuesdays and Thursdays are videos and they're so fun. I'm so excited for what's coming up next after Hawaii. And I'm so excited for Hawaii. It's going to be so good. So good. Fantastic. That's from Nacho Libre. All right, guys. Have a great, fantastic night. Have a great rest of the week. Have a restful and beautiful weekend, spending time doing things you love with people you love. And until then, until we talk again, be beautiful humans.